let's get to some of the quick hitters I told y'all about before we get on out of here, okay? First things up. Karl Anthony Towns, potentially coming to the New York Knicks, likely coming to the New York Knicks. That's where I want to start because obviously it's a surprise blockbuster that was announced Friday night. The Knicks acquired Karl Anthony Towns from the Minnesota Timberwolves in exchange for Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo, along with picks and all of this other stuff. Who cares? Here's the interesting thing about all of this. Both sides win. Both sides win. You're Julius Randle, love you, love your durability, appreciate all you did for the city of New York. I'm going to miss you personally. It would have been nice to see you with the rest of the crew, considering you wasn't there healthy when they made their run through the Eastern Conference playoffs before losing in Game 7 in the Eastern Conference Finals last year. But Julius Randle needs the ball. The problem is Jalen Brunson has the ball. And a lot of people looked at it and said that marriage ain't going to necessarily work, particularly when you picked up Mikal Bridges from the Brooklyn Nets. You still got Josh Hart and the rest of the crew. What you going to do with that, OG Anunoby? But with Karl Anthony Towns, you got a 22-10 player who shot 41% from three-point range last season, who's a career 39% shooter from three-point range, okay? A former three-point shooting champion, all right, in the All-Star festivities. This brother can ball. Durability is a question mark. He didn't have the greatest playoff performance, no doubt, but when you consider the fact that he's 6'10 and can light it up from outside, from three-point range, and you add that dimension to a Hart, to an Anunoby, to a Jalen Brunson, the New York Knicks right now are solidified as a top 3 team in the Eastern Conference and obviously, arguably, top 2 because I think they could beat Philadelphia. Philadelphia would still be the favorite, but that don't mean the Knicks can't take them. So I like that. In the case of the Minnesota Timberwolves, Rudy Gobert and Karl Anthony Towns is not the ideal match made in heaven. Julius Randle and Rudy Gobert could be, because Julius Randle could hit some shots from the outside. He's streaky. He definitely has a power game to take it off the dribble inside and finish at the basket. You got that with Ant-Man, and you got DiVincenzo coming off the bench or even playing with you, playing alongside Anthony Edwards. You got a shooter. That is what Minnesota was lacking last year, okay? I'm looking at Minnesota right now, who was in the Western Conference Finals last year, and I'm saying to myself, wait a minute, Ant-Man, with a shooter, with a power player like Julius Randle, with Rudy Gobert, your defense not being compromised, I like this deal for Minnesota as well. So I think it's a good thing. I just want to say that, but I'm all about my Knicks. I'm all about my Knicks, and I've always wanted Karl Anthony Towns. I'm sorry to see Julius Randle go. Even more sorry DiVincenzo's going because I love him. But I love Karl Anthony Towns in a New York Knicks uniform, all right? Leon Rose, Worldwide West. Way to go, fellas. Way to go. Another quick hitter. Quick hitter number 2 takes us to college football with Deion Sanders, primetime, Mr. Primetime himself. And the Colorado Buffaloes dominated UCF 48-21 on Saturday. Story of the game was Travis Hunter, though, who's quickly become my favorite to win the Heisman. Hunter, who plays both ways, had 9 catches for 89 yards and a key interception on defense in the third quarter of this game. UCF was not only predicted to beat Colorado, they were more than 12-point favorites. And instead, they got their ass kicked. Colorado showed us a running game for the first time. We know what Shedeur Sanders can do from the quarterback position. But this brother, Travis Hunter, is special. You see the numbers right there, 46 receptions, 561 yards, all right? Got about 6 touchdown catches, okay? 16 tackles, 2 interceptions on the year. The brother is special. He's a shutdown corner. Plus, he's an all-world wide receiver. He could play special teams for you if you need him to do that as well. What is it that he cannot do on the football field? We don't know. We don't know because he's that special. I want to state this for the record. Ahead of Jalen Milroe for Alabama. Ahead of anybody else you can think of. Carson Beck included at Georgia. Travis Hunter should be the leading candidate for the Heisman as of right now. They got to continue to win now. They can't fall off the wagon like they did last year and losing 6 straight and 7 of their last 8 games at the end of the season. But if they continue to win football games, Travis Hunter, and he continues to play this way, he's going to win the Heisman. He's going to win the Heisman. And oh, by the way, primetime Deion Sanders is going to be Coach of the Year. Remember, they were projecting that Colorado was going to finish like in the 11th place. They 4-1 right now. They win games. They keep winning, and they get to a bowl game, primetime going to win Coach of the Year, and he will have deserved it. Let's be very clear on that. Let's stay in college football for another quick hitter number 3. Y'all see Alabama versus Georgia on Saturday night? Y'all see that game? It lived up to the hype as Alabama held the lead for most of the game. Georgia, who was trailing 30-7 at halftime, 28-0 initially, stormed back, took a 34-33 lead. Well, they held that lead for 13 seconds. 13 seconds. That's because on the very next play, quarterback Jalen Milroe hit freshman Ryan Williams for a 75-yard touchdown catch, where he managed to elude two defenders to the end zone, put a spin move, catching it, going this way, spinning to his right, and scampering down the right sideline to take the lead for good and propel Alabama. Alabama, obviously, that happened. That put them up 41-34, and that was the game. The kid Ryan Williams is 17. He's 17. 17 years old. 17. Now, if you're looking at Georgia, consecutive regular season wins, 42, snapped. 28 straight regular season SEC wins, snapped. No big deal because when they lose, they usually lose to Alabama. But that was under Nick Saban. Now, I'm high on Kalen DeBoer, and I appreciate what I've seen from him. But damn it, I'd feel a lot differently if they had lost this game because a Nick Saban team would not have lost a 28-0 lead. They would not have lost a 30-7 halftime lead and have found themselves trailing 34-33 before that miraculous play between Milroe and Williams. But nevertheless, a win is a win. They handled their business. Milroe was sensational in the first half and finished the job when it was called upon him to finish the job because their offense got quiet for like 6 straight possessions. But that's neither here nor there when the outcome is what the outcome ended up being. Our last quick hitter takes us to the WNBA, where the Las Vegas Aces played their semifinal playoff game against the New York Liberty last night. The Aces were dominated for most of the game by Breanna Stewart. I don't know what the hell she was on, hitting three-point shots, dribbling the ball, get to the basket, dancing around people. She was sensational, finished with 34 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. Reigning MVP, league MVP, A'ja Wilson finished with 21 points for the Aces. Spike Lee, who was in attendance for the Liberty, was seen talking trash to Aces guard Kelsey Plum, who finished with 24 points. We'll see what happens in game 2. Here's my only thinking. I root for the Liberty because I'm New York all day, every day. Here's the issue. I don't want to talk too much because that might piss off A'ja Wilson. We know who this woman is. We know what she can bring to the table. We know she's a league MVP. She's spectacular. She's the best player in the world. And Breanna Stewart looked like the best player in the world yesterday. She bust their living, you know what. I don't know how kindly A'ja Wilson is going to take to that. I kind of look at this and say to myself, oh, damn, you might have woke up the lion right there with that kind of performance. So I ain't going to talk, but I was very, very happy to see the Liberty do what it did. Spike Lee, my brother, when you talk trash to the opposition, that usually doesn't work for us New York teams. Might want to pipe it down just a touch. Just a touch. Pretty please.